Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Remember a couple of videos back, I made a prediction about Kai and that injury, and pretty much they're saying that he's going to have a life injury, and that's how this whole romance thing with him and Trina's going to start. And granted, we all kind of made that prediction a little bit. I could have swore I made it before that injury. But the point is, it's like, we all saw that was coming. So while Stella isn't there visiting Kai, and Kai is anxious to get back to the field and start playing again, and Trina isn't there talking about Kai to Jocelyn, now he's more than just a jock, more than just a football player. You know, um, and she was wrong about her initial assessment with him. She goes in to see him, and he's not exactly in a good mood. This is after the doctor came in to sit there and talk to Kai. And surprise, surprise, he basically sits there and tells her that he'll never play football again. Don't know what this means for a scholarship or anything like that, but the point is, we pretty much kind of all sort of writing on the wall. Um, Drew and Curtis. You know, there's so many different ways you could sit there and look at this situation, right? You can look at this situation as him coming over there, making amends, only to get back his company in a sense, only get back some interest, some controlling interest of his company, right? I personally think that he was genuinely apologetic about screwing him over in a sense. But I wouldn't even sit there and say screwing over Curtis, but lying to him, right? Lying to him and misleading him. And, he talks about the marriage and everything like that, because Curtis is like, you screwed over your nephew and everything like that. And Drew says, and Drew says something that was interesting. Drew is like, listen, a lot of times in marriages, sometimes they don't work out, and not that it's right, but they go out and they start seeking other people. Now, he paused for a second. He still maintained his whole "I don't like you, Drew" attitude. But it wasn't that long ago that Portia started messing around with him. Now, this isn't on Curtis, and once he found out he wound up leaving, but it is a reality. Sometimes marriages don't work out, and you start stepping out on a marriage. So let's not sit there and try to act like this isn't an actual thing. But he does apologize. He's like, listen, things went off the rails, and I do apologize for that. But Curtis is just not budging, right? Curtis has been in this show for a very long time. I've seen him make a very few amount of mistakes, but I guess I just kind of look at it and I'm like, what is it like that they're living on your pedestal in a sense? I'm pretty sure there was times in his life where he's messed up and he wanted that same forgiveness. And yeah, him and Portia, him and Jordan are in a better place, but he treated her like garbage. And I don't even remember if he actually really apologized for the way he went about it with her. Long story short, Curtis isn't budging. And so at this point, he went from being Mr. Nice Guy, and now he's like, okay, so here's the thing. The position I'm going to be in, it can either benefit you or it can sink this company. And, Curtis is like, so would you really sit there and sink this company that you have and, just to be petty, whatever? Yes. Yes. Just like he said, he founded the company. And yes, I understand he used Jason's money, blah, 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 blah. I get it. But the point is, he wanted controlling interest of that company. It's like, if you're not going to sit there, if you're not going to be with me, then you're going to be against me. And I'm more than fine to sit there and go that route too. Um, Lulu comes, wanting the job. Max is there. And eventually Brooklyn's like, yeah, did you not sit there and tell her to me and hiring her? Lulu is like, I don't understand, like, what's your problem? Like, you're the one that screwed me over with my boyfriend. Lulu, this was over 5 years ago. And it's at a point where it's like, I don't want to sit there and say no one cares anymore because that just comes across as completely dismissive. But like, it's been over 5 years. You've been in that coma for 5 years. That incident happened longer than, beyond that point after that. And the bottom line is, when Brooklyn's like, I don't want to sit there, I don't want you here. I don't want to sit there and work in a very hostile work environment. And she's 100% right. She shouldn't have to sit there and deal with her constant petty sniping, constant attitudes, and constantly throwing stuff that's been years in her face. And I'm glad that Maxie spoke up. And Lulu realized, hey, listen, Maxie put all her energy into his company. And she shouldn't have to sit there and deal with trying to be referee and pretty much deal with Lulu's pettiness. She's come too far to sit there and deal with that. And she shouldn't have to be doing that. So if you want to sit there and say you love her and be a friend and everything like that, then do it. You need to start by, hey, listen, you two may never be best friends and stuff like that, but you need to kind of start to make some amends at the very least to work with her. She's been there longer, she's been there first. You come in to her being an assistant for her. So you kind of need to sit there and try more harder in this situation than Brooklyn. Brooklyn committed her faults and everything like that. But in reality, this was more Lulu as far as being like, hey, listen, we're not going to like each other, but for the sake of our friendship with her, we got to sit there and work this out. Um, I'm just wondering, what was Laura's goal? Or did she actually think that was going to work? She brings Sitwell in, and is there, and he pretty much just throw everything that Sitwell did. Compound with Anna, Lucky and the torture and everything like that, and playing cards, all that stuff. And Sitwell, I don't know if you want to call it gaslighting or pretty much that they're saying we're going to sit there and see it from my perspective. Which, by the way, in the intro, he's actually in the intro now. I was like, wow, okay, that's interesting. He's in the intro now. They did a new headshot of Maxie. And long story short, he pretty much just tries to make it seem like this self defense. Yeah, well, people are coming at my business, and I had to sit there and find a way to protect myself. And then when they bring out the whole Sasha being charged, Sarah was like, "Oh, does that happen? Was there any police filing or anything like that, or a report, or her coming for it? Nothing? Huh. Okay." So Laura pretty much is like, "We don't want you in this town." That's it. He drove all the way there, took a ferry or whatever to go all the way down there so you could sit there and say, I don't want you in this town. And what was Sidwell supposed to do? You don't want me in this town? Well, I guess I better just pack up my shit and just leave. I mean, he doesn't want me in this town. So he pretty much does this whole, I don't know if you want to call it passive aggressive move where he's like, I'm just going to prove everyone wrong. And he leaves. And Laura's like, there's nothing we really can do. Like, there's nothing. And I guess at this point, you just got to wait. Now, Anna did sit there and say that he's going to, him being here, big bad and everything like that, is a rival with Sunny. And it's kind of weird that, him being here and Sunny's place exploding. So she's going to look into that angle. Um, I guess there's so much stuff that's been going on that Sunny didn't even sit there and think about that. or Anna or Holly didn't sit there and say where she got those diamonds from. Actually, no, I think she did sit there and say that. I think she might have actually said that, and Sunny didn't care. Well, I guess that was a mistake. Um, so Carly's in Germany, and apparently she got denied seeing access to her son. She's at the hotel, and she's about to sit there and take the bottle and throw it. I was like, don't start breaking shit. You got to pay for it, and that's not going to be good. And Jack comes in. They get to talking. Carly's regretful because she brung Sunny into her world. She is regretting that decision. Only time I generally bring it up is when she starts to, I feel, get extra with people, and she starts coming at Willow a certain way, and that's the only time I generally bring it up. But Jack is right. It's not going to do you any good to sit there and think about the what ifs. What if I would have did this differently? What if I would have did that differently? It doesn't help. It just drives you insane. So Jack shares a personal story about his decisions that he made that wound up getting someone killed. Um, and the only thing he sits there and says is, we can't go back. We just have to sit there and try to do better. So, they seem like they're getting closer. I have a huge problem with that. Um, they're going to make it work. I think it's a huge mistake. Um, when I first started watching the show, it was Jason, Sunny, and Carly. And see, Carly was living that fancy life of she can have her cake and eat it too. And she can be with Sunny, and she can also sit there and be with Jason. And you know, I was new to the show, and I was like, "Oh my god, this show is so cool! I love those three." And then, like later on, I was like, "How did Sunny just be like?" Because here's the thing: I know Sunny and Jason are best friends and stuff like that, they're like brothers. But for me, it was just always off that a man was that close to his wife. You know, and that's just how it was. He just accepted that role. Drew was smart enough to be like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm not. No, no. Jason's back. Yeah, I'm not playing second fiddle." Now you've seen this budding romance between those two, and I'm just like, bro, this is a huge waste of time because I feel like Jack is gonna have to bend over backwards to sit there and appease Jason just to be with Carly, and that's just asinine on so many different levels. But this is what some of the fans want. This is, I'm pretty sure, what Laura Wright wants. So they're gonna make it work. But yeah, this is stupid. This is um. Now Jocelyn's also at the hospital. I guess she wants to sit there and try to talk to some people and prevent Cyrus from offing somebody, offing somebody else. But at this point, she wants to go on attorney lawyers to sit there and be a volunteer there because she wants to make sure Cyrus isn't taking anybody else out, and get justice for Dex. Um, problem is he's on to you. So now, not only are you gonna have to work twice as hard to sit there and uncover his tracks, but you got to sit there and make sure you're not alone with this man. Because yeah. Now, if you want to sit there and talk about character assassination in a sense, Cyrus. I like the actor. I the way his character developed. It's I also tell you the truth at this point. You might just try to find some way to wrap this up and just kind of just take Cyrus out because yeah, his character is not working. His character has not been working for a very long time, and we're just kind of like still stuck with him. Anyway, at some point Tracy does come by, and Tracy also encourages Lulu to join, and Eventually Lulu accepts, and so now she's part of the team. And we'll sit there and see how long that lasts before one or both of them starts arguing and bickering with each other. Causing Maxie nothing but stress because that's exactly what she needs. So, got Jane Elliott back, and this is what they're doing with her. So, while Willow's not there calling Drew, updating her and missing him, Nina comes over. Right? Nina comes over, they're talking for a little bit, and Tracy comes over. And at this point, I'm just like, Tracy, what are you there for? I'm here to set some ground rules. Okay, I guess we're doing this. So, she comes over, they get into this argument back and forth. Willow's like, listen, I only agreed to do this because this was in everyone's best interest and, Monica's interest and not having you locked up for kidnapping. Um, Tracy says something along the lines of, oh, you have a little bit of Nell in you. But for the most part, Willow pretty much stands up to Tracy. She's like, yo, listen, I'm not going to be bullied by you. I don't give a damn how much money you have, your status in life, or whatever. Clearly, you have, you are so privileged that you are kidnapping children that aren't yours. And, at this point, she's like, hey, listen, if this ish gets a little too crazy, I'll be moving back in with Mom Dukes. And I will sit there and refile the charges. So don't F around it because you will find out. And eventually Tracy leaves. And, Sasha, I mean, not Sasha, Willow's like, this might have been a mistake coming back. And again, this is why I said what I said before. When I was like, her getting involved with Michael was probably the worst mistake she could have made. Because it's not so much Michael that is the problem. It's Michael's families. The Corinthos, you stand next to Sonny, you're in danger. Or Carly, to get to Sonny, you're in danger. And then there's the Quartermains, where you have Tracy practically threatening to take her children. It's absolutely insane to me, again, that she had to sit there and barter with this woman for her own goddamn children. That is, yeah, that's insane. Yeah, I know things didn't work out with Jason Willow, but damn. Um, and of course, Tracy's not there throwing the affair in Willow's face, and it's just like, this is getting kind of old. And yeah, you have too much skeletons in your closet to really be sitting there judging people, but okay, boo boo, fine, you do you. If that's what makes you feel better, gives you the energy to sit there and wake up in the morning, what else? That's about it. Yeah, I think that's pretty much about it. Now, of course, if I missed anything, write in the comment section below. Come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. I'll be talking about all the shows: General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Born and Beautiful, and Young and Restless. And I will see you in the next video.